Would you have me as the dolly on your windowsill? I'm a little bit damaged, but I'm still a good girl. Alright, yeah, it is still me under all of this. It's actually March. I'm doing this for a makeup group that I'm in. I've completely managed to cover the cracks on my forehead that I painted on so very carefully with this. Let's see if I can. Now I look like the dude out of Slade in the 70s, but it shows these back off again, so there we go. As I was saying, doing this for a makeup group that I'm in on Facebook. My category, quite clearly, was Broken Doll. And I did all of this without any face paints at all because I'm allergic to them. I used Fenty foundation, 4 Jeffree liquid lipsticks, 2 Jeffree Skin Frosts, and Jeffree palette. A little bit of imagination, a little bit of fun. So, if you want to see how this scary doll was achieved, you're in the right place. Keep watching. And of course, wouldn't be my channel if I didn't do a creepy version of When Will I Be YouTube Famous? Here's the tutorial. Hey, welcome back from the intro. Right, okay, so today I'm doing the Broken Doll look, and I'm allergic to face paint, which restricts a lot of the special effect look I can do. So I have to rely on foundation to make my pale skin even paler. Now, when Fenty launched, there was such a hoo-ha in the beauty community about the 40 shades, and probably as ignorance on my part, I assumed that the extension of the shades was just at the deeper end of the spectrum, and where I can normally guarantee to be the lightest of any foundation range. When it launched, got straight online. In the UK, we don't have Sephora, we can't get samples. The only UK store that stocks Fenty is Harvey Nichols. The closest one to me is in London, and being disabled, I just couldn't get there. So I couldn't get a sample. So I ordered the lightest shade, 100. It arrived. Nice frosted bottle. I thought, yeah, it looks about right for my skin. Turns out what I should have been wearing is 150. Now, admittedly, side by side, they don't look that different. Let me show you the difference. That's 150. I have shaken both of these. That's 100. So, 150, 100. Can you? Trying to show you the shade. There we go. Right. 150, 100. I looked even more like Casper than I usually do. But, and of course the other thing over here, once you've opened foundation, it's yours to keep forever. You don't get to take it back unless there's something faulty with the bottle. So, this is the 150, which I will not be using today. This is the 100, which I will. Face is washed, moisturised and primed with my usual facial antiperspirant, which doesn't seem to be doing that great a job at the moment. Who am I? Who flips their phone like this? He's YouTube famous now. Dad AF. Boost. Right, okay. As usual, on my phone case, I'm gonna best pumps are the ones that work. Oh, that's about 4 pumps. Hopefully that should be enough to give me the coverage I desire. And today I am going to go in because I found that, on me at least, Fenty doesn't apply very well with the sponge. It goes a bit patchy. That's probably just my skin. So I use this Real Techniques even Expert face brush, face base, whatever the hell it's called. Expert face brush. I was right the first time. And let's bring you in a little bit. That's quite close enough for now. I am stippling this on because if I'm going to be a China doll, I need to be whiter than I usually am. Can you see now why this is so not my colour? I will use, in fact I probably have used the Fenty by now because I'm pre-filming this in March. One of the beauty group I'm in on Facebook has regular just fun between ourselves competitions on makeup looks, and my category this time is broken doll. So it's actually the 2nd of March when I'm filming this, but obviously I'm not going to upload it until Halloween. Hopefully I'll be able to get a couple of looks done for you for Halloween, just to give you a few different options. Now I've got to be honest, I have never done a broken doll look before, so you have as much idea as me as to how well this is going to turn out. So as I'm filming it, let's really hope I make a good job of it. Now, as you can see, this Fenty is super light on me. I have never, before Fenty, been anything but the lightest shade. Just even this coverage out a little bit. What I will do to get rid of the brush marks is I buff over it with a dry sponge afterwards. Which I find works quite well. Now I'm whitening my lips out because we're going to be drawing on little Cupid's bow lips. Towards the end of my transformation. If you're doing something like this, don't forget to put a little bit on your ears, otherwise they're going to stand out. Although I am going to put a wig on, so hopefully they should be covered a little bit. When I say a little bit, I mean a lot. I'm looking like the ghost of Christmas past at the moment. Is it Christmas past was the white one? And then Christmas present was normal coloured, and Christmas future was a black man or person of colour. I don't know what the correct or the current acceptable term is. Perhaps one of you could let me know. Just using a face wipe to clean this brush before I put it back down. It's something I do habitually every time I use a brush. If I've used cream, I clean it off with creams or liquid. I clean off with a face wipe, and powders. As you know, I use my colour switch. It just, to my mind, it extends the usability time of your brushes. You don't have to wash them quite as often, which is a bonus. You know, the deep cleans, which if you've only got a few brushes, you know, deep cleaning your brushes can be the difference between wearing makeup the next day or not, depending on what the weather's like where you are, how quickly your brushes dry out, etc, etc. Okay, now the lightest concealer that I have is actually a Colourpop one. I'm just hoping it's not darker than the foundation. It's the Colourpop No Filter in, can you see that, Fair 5? Oh, where's my dry sponge? Trying to dry this down as quickly as possible so I don't get any streaks in it. Okay, Colourpop concealer, are you light enough? Maybe. And I am going to be popping some colour under there shortly. I just wanted a little bit of additional. Yeah, the foundation is lighter than the concealer. Fabulous. I've got a wee bit of the foundation still on my phone case. I've just picked a bit of that up as well. Just release the last dregs of those 4 pumps. Well, 3 and a multitude of ones. Sorry if you're listening on headphones, that probably really just killed your ears, I'm sorry. Wow, haven't been this colour since I had pneumonia. That was an interesting 43rd birthday. Didn't intend to spend it almost dying, but God decided that was what he wanted me to do that day. Empty elf powder tub and my Makeup Revolution lace powder. Just put some of that. I get the feeling this isn't going to be light enough either, but I need to set this foundation down with something. I just about do. do you know what? I'm just going to tip that into. This is why I keep old pots into my elf pot. And I'm going to switch to Maybelline Fit Me Translucent Pressed. Because this at least won't add any more colour. I've got a travel kabuki brush here from Real Techniques, and I'm sliding the collar up a bit to make the brushes a little bit tighter packed, just to really get this set. And as always, I'm actually stippling this in, because the last thing you want after you spent all this time laying your foundation down, or in your case, if you're not allergic to face paint down. Actually, you can probably skip this stage if you use face paint, to be quite honest. But if you're like me and do have to use foundation, the last thing you want to do after laying your foundation down and getting it all smooth and even is to sweep powder across it and smudge it. And then, because obviously China dolls tend to have a bit of a shine, I am going to go into one of my Jeffree Star Skin Frosts in, make sure I've got the right out for you, Ice Cold, which is the pure white one. Back in my kabuki, but with the collar down this time. I'm really going into this and just see the difference that makes. I don't know if you can actually, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, it's difficult to see on the viewfinder, to be fair. But I can certainly see the difference here. It's giving me just that little bit of shine. I say little bit. We all know Jeffree's Skin Frosts glow like a mofo. But I don't normally stipple it in, so it's giving a slightly different finish. But it's giving me that porcelain shine, or you know, bone china. You know, those scary dolls you see on your grandma's chest of drawers or dresser or whatever. The ones with the glass eyes that seem to follow you around the room. Thankfully, my grandma hasn't got any of those. My mum had a crap ton though, clearing out her flat after she died. Ooh. Well, after she went into the nursing home before she died. There was about a dozen of them along the window ledge in her bedroom. Good Lord, that would have given me nightmares. Freddy Krueger, Chucky style nightmares. Okay, I'm now shining like a glitter ball on a Saturday night at the Palais, which Maiden hasn't got anymore and hasn't had actually since before I was born, to be quite honest. I didn't block my brows out. I just, to be quite honest, didn't really want to block my brows out. Now, shall I come in with shadow or shall I use my pencil? Neither. I'm going to go in with some Jeffree Star Weirdo lipstick. With a tiny wee brush. And all we do okay, I'm probably going to be a little bit quiet at this point because I need to concentrate. Still following the line of my brow. But I'm going to give myself a huge, great curl this time, which obviously my natural brows don't have. But this is the kind of brow that you see painted onto those horrific dolls. Ugh. I always wanted brows this shape. Probably could draw them in with a pomade, but I end up looking like a drag queen. Some might argue I do anyway. I did go through a phase of, if you go back through my Instagram you'll see about a year or so ago, went through a phase of trying the Instagram brow with a pomade. Dear Lord, it looked like I'd put it on with a Sharpie. It looked like this. I went out with my brows like that. So what are you planning for Halloween? Have you got your costume sorted yet? Or are you like my brother-in-law who hates dressing up? I think most we got him to do was to put a hat and a leather jacket on, and he went as Indiana Jones one year. That was quite fun actually. But he's not really into the dressing up. Which is fine, not everyone is. Oh, I look ridiculous. But I'm meant to be looking ridiculous. Just going to clean some of the, although I'm going to be using this again with the black in a minute, so I don't really know why I'm doing this. Habit, I suppose. It's a hard habit to break. Most habits are though, aren't they? Okay. Now, as I have said in a previous video, I do have Jeffree's black highlighter. And I bought it when it was still limited edition and wasn't supposed to be made part of the permanent range. Look at that. Isn't that great? The Halloween looks, it's perfect for your contour. Just I also use this when on another one of these competition makeup thingies. My category was fireworks, and I used this to turn my face into the night sky because it was shimmery and sparkly and had stars. And I used a load of his liquid lipsticks to paint on loads of different fireworks. That was a fun look. It took forever to get off my face. It was a fun look to do. So there's a scary contour. This one does kick up a lot of dust though, beware of that. Colour switch the brush off. As usual, great on preparation. The eyeshadow palette I want's right at the bleeding bottom. I'm still half asleep to be quite honest this morning, folks. Androgyny. You've seen me use this before, I'm sure. And I'm going to go into androgyny and fetish. And I'm just going to smoke underneath my eye. So let's bring you in a little bit closer just so I can. This is what I was saying, I wasn't too worried about the concealer being that little bit darker. I haven't got a rabid cat under the table, it's my alarm. I remember reading somewhere that women's brains are attuned to pick up the frequency of a baby's cry, and a cat's meow gives about the same frequency, so it's the best alarm to wake you up in the morning if you're a woman. It's true, hubby can sleep straight through it, wakes me up, just like that. That Jai Ho was our alarm tone for a while. Problem was I liked the song so much I just kept listening to the alarm instead of getting out of bed. Do you celebrate Halloween? You know, are you pagan? Do you still see it as All Hallows Eve? Are you Wicca? Or do you just like getting dressed up and doing fun stuff like this? Doing crazy looks that you can't normally get away with on a day-to-day basis. Ooh, I do like this red of his. As of today, which as I said before was the 2nd of March, still haven't got his blood sugar palette yet because it still hasn't come to Beautylish. But I'm hoping that by the time this goes live in October, that I will have got that one as well. Because that's got some fabulous reds in it. Well, that has to be said. Fetish is doing its job. Giving me the bloody under eye I want. And I'm not swearing. Just continue that up. To make my eyebrow, I think. If you can hear bubbling, my hot water is just switching on to warm up. Do you know what? I'm so glad we have a back boiler. If you don't know what that is, it's not rude, I promise you. Our boiler, instead of being on the wall, is behind the fire in the front room in the chimney breast, which is great because so many of my friends, bless them, are having issues at the moment with frozen pipes, no heating, and you know, when it's -5 out there, you need heat. It's you know, that's a given, isn't it? I mean, a lot of them have got young kids as well, which is not great. But with the back boiler being in the chimney breast and behind the fire, it tends to protect the pipes more. So you don't have, I mean, obviously you can get frozen pipes. We've got a lagging on our outside pipe so it doesn't freeze back and affect the sink in the kitchen. But in terms of sort of like the boiler overflow, that's what gets a lot of people. Their overflow freezes up, and then the boiler stops working because it can't condense out. So there's a tip for you: if your pipes freeze, check for your overflow outside. A lot of people say pour a kettle of boiling water over it, which you can do, but you do risk a split pipe. I normally get huge weight bath towels and soak them in the water and wrap that round the pipe to melt the ice. And if you give the pipe a bit of a tap to loosen the ice, and then once you clear that blockage, 9 times out of 10 your boiler will come back on. So try that before you get a plumber out. But if you get a split pipe, don't blame me, I did warn you. There are risks to it. I'm going to go back into onyx ice because I want to darken my lid up. Because I'm not just a broken doll. I'm a scary, broken, possessed by something very nasty doll. You know, I'm probably going to look back on this tutorial in about 4 years' time and go, what was I thinking? Actually, a little bit of fallout has made that red even better. Probably should have done the black beforehand, but to be honest, I'm kind of winging it. I hadn't decided what look I was going to do. In terms of, I know I was going to wipe my face out, but in terms of what makeup I was doing, not a Scooby. But then you'll find that with most of my tutorials, I tend to make it up as I go along. Deciding what colours I want to use, I'll tell you I'm going to use one colour and then I'll annotate the screen and it'll be a completely different colour that I've gone for. But I'm a woman, I'm allowed to change my mind, it keeps things interesting. Leastwise, it's what I tell my husband. Okay. Now, lips. This is a Morphe MB26 that I'm going in with, which looks like this. And using one of Jeffrey's lipsticks from the family collection called Diva. I do have a habit of showing you these things upside down, don't I? Or was that the right way up and I'm just looking at it wrong because it's in my viewfinder? To be honest, I don't really know anymore. But this is a lovely, vibrant, hot pink. It's even hotter than prom night. And again, just transferring that to the brush. And I'm going to draw on the Cupid's bow lips. This is why I whited my lips out. We've not had any post for 4 days. If the postman comes to my door now, and I have to answer it looking like this. Cupid's bow lips. Clean my brush off. And I'm going to go into another one from his family collection, Baby Daddy, because I want some cute freckles. Sorry, I'm aware I'm not talking too much when I'm doing this. I'm really concentrating on trying to get. The problem is, when you try to do something random, it ends up looking placed. I think that will do. Clean my brush off again. Always, always, always clean your brushes, folks. It does extend the wear of them. And this is actually one of the Morphe brushes that I like. It doesn't shed. I've deep cleaned it 3 or 4 times now, and it still looks ridiculous. It still looks, it still works really well. Right, going back into my. This was just a really cheap eBay, non-branded brush. Back into Weirdo. Now it's time to do yes, this is a little bit Nightmare Before Christmas. And now the fun bit. Drawing on all of your breaks. What you can do is join some breaks up and colour them in to look like you have a hole in them. So like I said, I'm no makeup expert, I'm no beauty guru. I'm certainly no Raw Beauty Christie when it comes to some of the amazing. I mean, she does some awesome stuff with liquid latex. She did the Chatterer last year. That was scary, man. And she did it. I hate clowns. Clowns and these dolls, it's just, who the hell decided they were a good plan? And obviously you can have as many cracks and chips and breaks as you want. This is your creation. It's Halloween. Well, it's not, it's March, but it will be Halloween when you see this. It's a time when adults can look bloody ridiculous and get away with it. And if you find that it starts to trail off like that, leave it, because that actually adds to the effect. Obviously, if you want these holes, you can set with black eyeshadow powder, or if you're like me, you've got the Onyx Eye Skin Frost. And if you do a bloop like that, make it look like you're meant to. I think that's me cracked up and up for one day. But what I'm going to do to try and add, and this may not work, this could be a really, really bad plan. What I'm about to do, I might completely blow this look. But light and shade. So I have also got Jeffree Star's Drug Lord, which originally was a white top back in Christmas 2015. Sadly, I missed out on all of that lot, but I have now finally got mistletoe. Looking for it for so long. The other colours were Ho Ho Ho, which I still haven't managed to get hold of, which was a beautiful red, but that is very similar to oh god, which red was it that he released? It'll come back to me. Fibro fog's making me forget. Androgyny, which is now part of it, Drug Lord, which is part of it, and I think doll parts, which are all now pink caps, so the only two that you couldn't get are mistletoe and ho ho ho. Now put a bit of white. I'm just gonna not entirely sure that's showing up against how white my foundation is, to be honest. But decide which side your light source is going to be. And add some little white highlights. This is one of the reasons that I'm so glad that Jeffrey released so many different colours, because it means I can finally join in. Don't get me wrong, I wear these mad colours as lipstick. Because why not? As you can see, where it's blurring with the black a little bit, you do tend to get it going a little bit grey. But that's alright. Adds to the effect. That's what I'm telling myself. All those art lessons coming back to haunt me. As I said, I'm putting a wig on with this. So it will be a complete transformation, I hope. I don't think I've missed any. I'm not going to put any on my scarring because I want that to stay as is. Oh yeah, I have missed a little bit just there. I'm not sure if it will show once the wig is on, but just in case, pop a little bit there too. What do you think? Do I look scary enough? Clean the brush off for the umpteenth time. And then this is the point that I would normally go in with setting spray, but I don't intend to wear this for very long, folks. So this is my broken doll. Don't go anywhere. When I come back, I'm going to have a wig on. If you've liked this so far, you could press the like button, hit subscribe. You know all of this by now, I say it every single video. Don't go nowhere, I'll be right back. What do we think? Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. See you next time. Bye bye now.